You've seen Ferraris that turn heads. Now meet the ones that make even lifelong fans pause mid-sentence and go, wait, they built that? These aren't your poster child Ferraris. These are the weird ones, the secret ones, the you need to see it twice to believe it ones. Hidden, outrageous, and borderline mythical, these 9 machines are the stealth legends of Maranello. Proof that even Ferrari has a wild side that doesn't care about rules, only about style, speed, and a little bit of mystery. 9. Zagato Nebbio, 2007 Ferrari 599 GTB Fiorano. Picture the Ferrari 599 GTB Fiorano, already a fire-breathing grand tourer, getting dressed for a red carpet event but deciding to wear something designed by David Bowie's tailor. That's the Zagato Nebbio, a coach-built creation that took Ferrari's elegant beast and gave it a whole new personality. Gone were the smooth factory lines, in came a muscular double-bubble roof, exaggerated curves, and that unmistakable Zagato presence, part sculpture, part spaceship. The Nebbio wasn't made for everyone. It was made for people who saw a regular Ferrari and thought, too normal. Underneath, though, it was still pure Fiorano, a naturally aspirated 6-liter V12 that sang all the right Italian notes at every touch of the throttle. Most Nebbios came with Ferrari's F1-style paddle gearbox, but a few rare souls were built with a 6-speed manual, making them among the rarest 599s ever. In total, maybe 9 coupes and a handful of spiders exist, which means spotting one in the wild would be like bumping into a unicorn wearing a tailored tuxedo. It's one of those cars that blurs the line between automotive engineering and rolling art, a Ferrari that reminds you that power and beauty aren't always born in the same factory. 8. Ferrari FX, 1994-95 Testarossa based. Now imagine being literal royalty and calling Ferrari with a special request. Hey, could you make me something that shifts like a Formula 1 car? That's exactly how the Ferrari FX came to life in the mid-1990s, thanks to Prince Abdul Hakim of Brunei, a man whose garage was less of a collection and more of a private museum. Pininfarina took the Testarosa's iconic flat 12 engine and turned it into a testbed for the future. The FX was fitted with a semi-automatic transmission operated by paddles behind the wheel, something no road-going Ferrari had before. To make it work, Ferrari pulled in the experts from Williams Formula 1 to fine-tune the system. The result? A car that bridged the gap between old-school power and next-generation tech years before paddle-shift Ferraris became the norm. The numbers are fuzzy, maybe 6 built, maybe 7, and most vanished straight into Brunei's royal vault. One escaped, though, a deep blue FX surfaced in California, where it became a museum darling and proof that Ferrari's future was being secretly tested decades ago. Legend has it, the development process burned through dozens of clutches, a mechanical price for ambition. But the FX wasn't about convenience, it was about experimentation. It's Ferrari's equivalent of a secret prototype that accidentally slipped into the real world. 7. Ferrari 456 GT Venice Estate. Think station wagon, and your brain probably conjures images of roof racks, backseat crumbs, and grocery bags. Now replace that image with a V12, a gated shifter, and Pininfarina's penmanship. That's the Ferrari 456 GT Venice Estate. Built for Prince Geoffrey of Brunei, the Venice Estate was a 5-door grand tourer that somehow made practicality look sexy. Beneath its elongated roofline purred Ferrari's 5.5-liter V12, the same one that powered the regular 456, and it was paired with a proper manual gearbox, not some lazy automatic. It had the soul of a GT racer, but with enough room in the back for luggage, kids, or, if you're royal, your bodyguards. Only 7 of these long roof masterpieces were ever made, each one costing over $1.5 million back in the mid-1990s, an insane figure even by Ferrari standards. 6 went straight to Brunei's royal garage, and one lucky outsider got away, making it one of the rarest and most unusual Ferraris on Earth. It's a car that challenges what a Ferrari should be. Elegant, refined, yet fully capable of rocketing through the countryside with the whole family on board. 6. Ferrari F90, Testarossa-based secret build. If Ferraris could have secret identities, the F90 would be the masked superhero of the bunch. Built in the late 80s by Pininfarina for Prince Geoffrey, the F90 was based on the Testarossa but transformed into something entirely alien. The The design came from Enrico Fumia. All crisp lines, sharp angles, and oval headlights that made it look like a spaceship parked in the wrong decade. But the story of the F90 isn't just about its looks, it's about its mystery. For years, Ferrari enthusiasts whispered about a hidden project that the company refused to acknowledge. Ferrari's official line? It doesn't exist, but it did. 6 were built, all tucked away in Brunei. Each one had a 4.9-liter flat 12 engine mated to a 5-speed manual. Pure mechanical beauty dressed in secrecy. Only much later did the truth leak out, through rare photos and insider interviews. For decades, these cars were ghosts, glimpsed, rumored, but never confirmed. When images finally emerged, they looked like nothing else Ferrari ever made. The F90 is a reminder that even the world's most prestigious car maker sometimes builds toys for those rich enough to bend reality, and keeps the receipts locked in a vault. 5. Ferrari 512 TR Spider. Every Ferrari enthusiast knows the 512 TR, that refined, matured version of the iconic Testarossa, but almost no one has seen the convertible. Why? Because Ferrari never built one. Officially. Instead, Pininfarina quietly crafted 2 or maybe 3 spiders for a handful of elite clients, most of them, you guessed it, in Brunei. Imagine taking that glorious 4.9-liter flat 12, the same engine that turned highways into symphonies, and letting it sing under open skies. That's the 512 TR Spider, a car so exclusive it might as well be mythical. Pininfarina strengthened the chassis to make sure the roofless design didn't twist under the V12's fury, and the end result was a car that looked impossibly elegant but moved like a thunderstorm. Every detail screamed craftsmanship: the perfectly aligned panel gaps, the hand-stitched leather, the way the gated shifter clicked through gears like an orchestra conductor's baton. With roughly 430 horsepower on tap and that signature flat 12 whale, it wasn't just a Ferrari without a roof. It was a Ferrari that tore the roof off what was possible. Seeing one today is like spotting a ghost. Photos circulate occasionally, blurry and mysterious, almost daring you to believe they exist. And that's the beauty of it. Ferrari didn't intend to make a convertible 512 TR, but someone had the vision, the influence, and the checkbook to convince Pininfarina otherwise. 4. Pininfarina 365P Berlinetta Treposti, 1966. Let's rewind to the swinging 60s, an era of mini-skirts, moon landings, and mid-engine Ferraris that looked like art on wheels. But while the rest of the automotive world was busy deciding where to put the steering wheel, Ferrari said, why not smack it right in the middle? Enter the Pininfarina 365P Berlinetta Treposti, a car so far ahead of its time, it made everything else from that decade look prehistoric. Unveiled at the 1966 Paris Motor Show, the Treposti had a cockpit with 3 seats, driver in the center, passengers flanking on either side. It wasn't just a design experiment, it was a declaration. The car looked like a futuristic prototype, but it was a fully drivable, V12-powered Grand Tourer with Ferrari's 4.4-liter Colombo engine and a manual transmission that could make angels cry. Only 2 were ever made. The first was finished in pearlescent white, the second in metallic silver gray for none other than Fiat boss Gianni Agnelli, a man who could order a car the way most people order lunch. The Treposti's architecture would later inspire cars like the McLaren F1, but Ferrari did it first, decades earlier, and arguably with more charm. Today, both cars live lives as rolling art pieces, popping up occasionally at auctions where they sell for numbers that make your brain stutter. The Treposti wasn't just a Ferrari, it was Ferrari thinking out loud, asking, what if we take the road and make it feel like the cockpit of a jet? And they absolutely nailed it. 3. Ferrari 612 Kappa. Fast forward to something more modern, but just as exclusive. The Ferrari 612 Kappa is what happens when a New York collector with taste, confidence, and an unshakable sense of individuality asks Pininfarina for a 612 but make it mine. At its core, the Kappa is still a 612 Scaglietti, a 5.7-liter V12 Grand Tourer designed for long stretches of highway and even longer glances from onlookers. But the Kappa takes that concept and turns it into haute couture. Every panel was redesigned, smoother lines, sharper vents, and aerodynamic touches inspired by the wind tunnels that shaped Ferrari's Enzo. The hood got functional intakes, the tail gained bespoke Enzo-style lights, and the proportions became leaner, meaner, and more elegant. The pièce de resistance? An electrochromic sunroof that changes its tint with the press of a button. Clear one moment, midnight black the next. It's the kind of feature that makes you forget the horsepower count and just appreciate the experience. Inside, the craftsmanship borders on obsessive. Every stitch, surface, and switch custom tailored to the owner's exact taste. The Kappa wasn't built to break records or chase Nürburgring times. It was built to be different. It's that rare breed of Ferrari that trades track talk for timeless design. A grand tourer for people who understand that luxury can whisper louder than speed ever could. 2. Ferrari 400i Mirror S. Now, if you love 1980s aesthetics, that golden age of sharp angles, neon lights, and outrageous ambition, the Ferrari 400e Mirror S is your time machine. Commissioned by Saudi royalty, this one-off Michelotti creation looked less like a Ferrari and more like something Harrison Ford might drive through a neon-soaked skyline in Blade Runner. Built on the 400i chassis, the Mirror S took Ferrari's most understated model and turned it into a sci-fi sculpture. Its body featured sweeping glass panels that practically wrapped around the cabin, hiding the traditional pillars for a futuristic floating effect. The sharp nose, flush headlights, and edgy profile screamed concept car, but this thing was very real and fully functional. 1. Drogo Navarro Special, Ferrari 330 GT. And now we reach the crown jewel of obscurity, the Drogo Navarro Special. Imagine it's the late 1960s. You're a nightlife mogul, part playboy, part art critic, and you want a Ferrari that no one else has. So you go to Piero Drogo, legendary coach builder, artist, and design rebel, and tell him to go wild. What he hands you back isn't just a car, it's a statement piece. Based on the Ferrari 330 GT, the Navarro Special is what happens when classic Italian passion meets bold geometric madness. Gone are the familiar Ferrari curves. In their place, crisp lines, a narrow hood scoop, a squared-off grille with recessed lights, and a tail that looks like it came straight off a concept sketchbook. It's angular, dramatic, and unapologetically weird, like the rebellious cousin Ferrari tries not to talk about at family dinners. But under that custom body, it's still all heart. The 4-liter Colombo Vive 12 is alive and well, paired with a 5-speed manual gearbox that channels pure emotion through every shift. Drop your pick below, and if you love hidden chapters of automotive history, hit like and subscribe, because next time we're uncovering even more secrets from the world's most iconic cars.